Cairo, home to 23 million residents, the 7th most populous city on Earth. A place where the activity never stops. In Mathilde, a dense neighbourhood in the northeast of the capital, Taha and his family live in one of thousands of narrow alleyways.
This is where my divorced daughter lives with her children. We've been living here for almost 8 years.
His parents, farmers, moved to the city in the 1960s, hoping for a better life.
This donkey was a gift from God. It's how I make a living. I use it for work. Life here is better than back in Upper Egypt. There are more job opportunities and better pay.
But in recent years, even urban life has become increasingly difficult. Since the war in Ukraine began in March 2022, Egypt has sunk into a severe economic crisis.
Here's the kitchen.
According to the World Bank, even before the crisis, 60% of Egyptians were already poor or vulnerable.
This water, we don't drink it. It's not suitable. We use it to wash clothes, the bathroom, that sort of thing. We store drinking water in barrels. Life is tough. I'm a day worker. I sell bread from my cart. Some days there's work, some days there isn't.
Still, Egyptians continue to flood into cities looking for jobs. But even Cairo, seemingly endless, is buckling under population pressure. In 40 years, Egypt's population has doubled. Now at 113 million, most Egyptians live along the Nile, which covers about 6% of the country's surface area. That means the river is relentlessly drained each day to meet the demands of both people and agriculture. Noor has been farming this land for over 50 years.
These are wheat stalks, not ripe yet. If you break them open, you'll find 70 or 80 seeds inside.
For the past 8 years, Noor has only grown wheat and corn. Since 2017, government water regulations have forced him to stop growing water-intensive crops.
Before, we used to grow everything. Rice, sugarcane. But those fields have shrunk. Now rice is banned here because of water shortages.
And water limits aren't the only challenge. Across Egypt's countryside, farmland is vanishing, swallowed by the spread of bricks and concrete.
All of this used to be farmland. There wasn't a single building here.
To house his growing family, even Noor had to build on what used to be his fields.
This house belongs to my son. Next to it are my cousins. Over there, more new houses. Just 3 or 4 years ago, all this was farmland.
Every year, Egypt loses more than 10,000 hectares of farmland, an area the size of Paris.
Of course I'm worried. This is the most precious land on Earth. It's in grave danger. The government must find a solution.
The land along the Nile is no longer enough to feed Egypt's population. So the state is seeking alternatives and setting out in search of more fertile land and new sources of water. Hundreds of kilometers from the Nile, in the heart of the desert, Vines and fields now stretch to the horizon.
This whole area was once completely desert. Now it's a green paradise.
Mohammed is an engineer. His job, finding water where no one expects it. We're on the edge of the new valley, part of a plan to reclaim the desert, dreamt up by the father of modern Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser.
ازيك يا باشا؟ ايه الاخبار؟ الف سلامة. الله يسلمك. عملت ايه؟ بيلحم الراجل اهو. ايه اللي كان فاكك فيها؟ اللحام كله كان فاك. وتحته كله.
Drilling a well takes 20 to 25 days, 30 days at most. Depending on the difficulty, we might go down 200, 250, even 350 meters. Sometimes we drill, and there's simply nothing.
Once completed, this single well will be able to irrigate land the size of 30 football fields. A transformation that fills Mohammed with hope.
We're transforming the desert into something valuable. That's why we're proud of our work. We're like the soldiers of the desert.
But some scientists are raising concerns. At Cairo University, Professor Abbas Sharaki specializes in water resources.
This shows global rainfall distribution. Egypt is amongst the bottom 10 countries.
Faced with the frantic pace of well drilling in the desert, he's sounding the alarm.
Over 5,000 wells have been drilled in just the last 5 years. The groundwater in Egypt's deserts accumulated thousands of years ago, between 50,000 and 5,000 years in fact, which makes it a non-renewable resource. Using it in such large quantities is unwise.
And yet, as its population booms, Egypt's thirst continues to grow.
Personally, I believe this water shouldn't be used extensively for agriculture because it's a non-renewable resource. And it also belongs to future generations.
By 2050, Egypt's population is projected to increase by a third to 160 million people. A risk to national survival, according to President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi.
I speak of overpopulation in all my speeches. I speak of it because it is our greatest challenge, the challenge of challenges. The two biggest threats to Egypt are terrorism and overpopulation.
But for the last 10 years or so, since the beginning of the economic crisis, Egypt's birth rate has begun to drop. From 3.5 children per woman in 2014 to 2.5 today. A trend encouraged by the government, which has run an awareness campaign called 2 Children is Enough.
Hello, everyone. Sorry to bother you. We are here to talk about issues that are in both your interest and the national interest.
Ahmed is checking in on the initiative at a family planning clinic just outside Cairo.
تمام مظبوط كده مظبوط ما هو اللي يتبع التعليمات الصح ويفهم الكلام صح مش هيحصل معاه اي مشكله.
These services are free of charge for all women, clear proof of the government's commitment.
This is the family planning register.
Okay.
It tracks month by month the women using contraception.
We're in one of the poorest provinces with one of the highest fertility rates. We're about to expand the initiative by increasing the number of family development clinics linked to the program. We also want to bring more partner organizations on board with the goal of working with 400 clinics over the next 3 years.
In the hallways, many women wait for individual appointments for pregnancy checkups or contraception follow-ups.
These are contraceptive pills. for women who breastfeed. We also have copper IUDs, condoms, and hormonal pills.
This mother of 3 doesn't want any more children.
Some people can handle having a lot of children, but they ruin their lives and their health. I use birth control. I used to take the pill, but it didn't suit me. So now I get injections and it works really well.
But in some parts of Egyptian society, tradition remains deeply rooted. Here, a large family is a strong and respectable one.
We try to challenge the idea that having more children means you're wealthy or well regarded. We explain that to stay healthy, both for the mother and the children, pregnancies need to be spaced out.
We're doing this to make sure children get an education, a decent upbringing, proper clothing, and safe housing. That's not possible with high population growth.
Despite government efforts to raise awareness in rural areas, many people still haven't heard of the initiative or had access to its services. That's the case for Noor and his family. Surrounded by his children and grandchildren, he worries about their future.
What will they do once I'm gone? Who will take my place? Only God can help them then. We need land to farm, not to waste. The young people who can't find work, they'll end up hating their lives. They'll turn to drugs because they'll have no hope left.
Social and environmental threats are mounting. Egypt needs to act urgently. Its very survival might be at stake.